Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, I think I just pissed off one of my liberal neighbors in this office. Because I was joking. You know, I was sitting there on the phone negotiating with the Bigfoots. Because I need y'all to understand something, ladies and gentlemen. The Bigfoots have taken interest in all these big-legged liberal white women that are cutting their hair. They're sitting there saying, Stankonian ambassador, James, we will take all those women into the woods and alleviate you guys of all of your problems. We'll take every last one of them that you can round up. So we are in the midst of negotiating. Me getting crews together to round up all the bald-headed liberal women is making it easy for us to find them and just bring them to the edge of the woods. And all they wanted was a truck full of French bread and fresh tomatoes. And they would take all of them off our hands. And then my neighbor came out of our office and slammed the door. Boom. And I said, damn, you act like you don't hear me in here recording. So I think I pissed off because she definitely will be on the truck. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with being in an office space. You know, you're around other people. Now, with that being said, those of you who don't get the Stankonian ambassador jokes, go look it up, the Stankonian ambassador. I want to talk about Homan, the Border Czar. And let me tell you something. He has the perfect name, Homan. Who you playing with, man? Yeah, we gonna close this border. And what I love about this dude is, I'm so glad that he's talking and he's just a straight shooter and he's giving people in the media fits because they so used to everybody being like, oh, I'm gonna say the nice thing and I'm not gonna say anything mean and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And we need to bring an end to all this not hurting feelings, being nice to people for no damn reason. Just tell people like it is. They can accept it, respect it, or they can check it. And then we keep it moving. So yeah, watch this. Now I know other people cover Tom Homan because they got people around here on this YouTube, man. These dudes don't do nothing but talk about politics. I be trying to do something.
Elect Trump's new cabinet is starting to take shape because overnight, while you were sleeping, he tapped Tom Homan to be his border czar.
Trump saying, quote, there is nobody better at policing and controlling our borders. Likewise, Tom Homan will be in charge of all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin.
He worked with the president to come up with this job description, so let's hear from him. In his first interview after the major announcement, incoming border czar, Tom Homan. Tom, congratulations.
Now let me stop it right here. I don't know if you guys remember, there's video footage of him and AOC going at it. And him just savaging AOC. There's video footage of him and one of these other senators where the senator says, you know, have you ever held a dead child in your arms? And he looked like he was going to come across the table and smack the piss out the man. Look at that chin on him, guys. Look at that face. Look at them eyes. Look at him. He looked like he eat steel for breakfast, and that's what you need at your border.
Congratulations to you. It's bad for us. We lose you as a contributor. What went into the decision?
I'll be a contributor. Give me about $200,000 a year.
And the position.
Well, look, I've been on this network 4 years, complaining about what this administration did to this border. I've been yelling and screaming about it, telling them what they need to do to fix it. So when the president asked me, would you come back and fix it? Of course I have to. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't. So look, I'm honored the president asked me to come back and help solve this national security crisis. So I'm looking forward to it. And look, I love Fox. I love the family there, but I think that the calling is clear. I got to go back and help because every morning I get up. Every morning I'm pissed off about what this administration did to the most secure border in my lifetime. So I'm going to go back and do what I can to fix it.
So Tom, let's talk about the job because you're not an amateur. You've been doing this for years. You're a beat cop. Also, you worked the border before, went over to ICE. You've done it all. What does the process look like? Because I think some people get the impression that you're...
You see, here's the problem. And I'm going to tell you why it's perfect that Tom was picked for this job. You see all this process conversation? It's a setup question. What does the process look like? What does this look like? Don't matter what the process look like. What matters is they get the hell up out of here. And see, Tom will be able to stand the fire that will come after him when they say, well, you're separating families, you're separating children, are you okay with separating families? And you need somebody that's going to shoot straight with them and say, hey, they're here illegally. Remember I was telling you guys a couple of videos ago, I said, hey man, the biggest narrative that they're going to pull is they're going to pull on the heartstrings of the American people as it pertains to children. The same way they got all the illegals in here was with the children. The same way they're going to try and keep them here is with your heartstrings as it pertains to children. Simultaneously, while they are smuggling and sacrificing over 326,000 children. And I think Tom is the guy who will come forward and say, hey, I ain't trying to hear none of that foolishness y'all got to say to everybody leaving.
Shooting from your hip, but you know what you're doing here, right?
I know exactly what I'm doing. And look, this is the second time I came out of retirement for this president. And because it matters. And look, I was a Border Czar agent. I wore that uniform, and I'm proud that I wore that uniform. So, and I was an ICE agent. I was the first ICE director that actually came up through the ranks. So the 20,000 men and women that worked for me, I didn't ask them to do anything. I did do myself, because I was one of them. So look, I know the border, and I know there's a lot of great patriots. Look, I shut my phone off Friday night because I couldn't handle the phone calls, the texts, and emails from thousands of ICE agents and Border Czar agents excited about the rumor I'm coming back. But more importantly, that thousands of retired agents, retired Border Czar agents, retired military that want to come in and volunteer to help this president secure the border and do the deportation operation. So I've been off the grid for 3 days just because I couldn't handle all the phone calls, and plus all the death threats rolling in. My family's not at home right now because that's starting. But that's something we're going to deal with. They're not going to bully me away. They're not going to shut me up. They're not going to make me go away. This is the biggest national security vulnerability this nation has seen since 9/11. We have to fix it.
And it's one of the reasons Kamala Harris lost and Donald Trump won. So Tom, you just mentioned deportations. I know during the last Trump administration, when you were there, they did have the large-scale worksite, essentially raids, where they would go into a place and there would be hundreds of people who were in the country illegally. I know on 60 Minutes a couple of weeks ago, you said that those would continue under Donald Trump in the next administration. What do you have planned? Well, I know you don't want to give away the whole game book, but you do have deportations, mass workplace stuff planned, any other kind of category of deportations of interest?
Look, as the president said on stage many times, which I agree with 100%, it's going to be the same it was during the first administration, which is just a hell of a lot more of them because 10 million people have entered this country illegally under the Biden administration, or they actually let into this country, even though it's violation of federal law, what they've been doing, the abuse of the parole authority. But look, I've been clear, President Trump's been clear. Public safety threats and national security threats will be the priority.
And see, here we go. It's like, they want to subdivide between the criminals and terrorists, but everybody's a criminal. It's like, okay, well, we're going to start with the public safety threats. No, everybody's a public safety threat. Everybody's a public safety threat. I'm sorry, everybody's a criminal. If you're willing to break the law to come into a country, you're willing to break the laws of the country, point blank, period. And don't get me wrong, I believe that Tom is the guy for the job. I just don't like the narrative. It agitates me, this narrative that they keep running, like, where are we going to start? Are we going to focus on this? No, just get everybody. Bring ex-military, bring military contractors, bring ICE, bring everybody you can bring in. And then start hunting people down and removing. Don't matter where they came from. Don't matter. I don't care if you over there in the house chilling. No, you don't belong here, dog. The same way if I went to Russia and just crossed the border and went hidden Russian, somebody found out I was a legal alien, I would be arrested. I may not be doing anything criminal, but I broke their laws. And see, this conversation, this partial conversation about law and order, is how we got into this situation in the first place. There is no partial law and order. There's law and order. And the thing that pisses me off as a black man, and I'm just going to talk as a black man, for the longest, if you was riding around in New Orleans and you forgot to pay a ticket and your license got suspended, motherfucker pick you up and throw you in prison. They'll take your kids from you and throw you in prison and throw you in jail. But these people, everybody won't be nice with them. Oh, should we do this? No, we shouldn't do a damn thing but take them and send them home. We have to abide by rules and laws. They have to abide by rules and laws. Point blank, period. This is what I don't get about the black community as it pertains to Kamala Harris. For the longest, It was, the justice system is against us. They treat us differently than they treat everybody else. You got to be 5 times better than the other people to get half of what they got. And then you support a bunch of ragged sons of coming from anywhere into this country and getting treated differently than you. You was already complaining about being treated differently, and then you let them bring in other people and stand there and vote while they mistreat you. That's the dumbest stuff on the planet. Tom Homan, I support him 100%. The Stankonia ambassador gives him a full-throated endorsement. I think he's going to destroy the deep state's plan to crash the American economy by running 600 million illegals into the United States of America. Point blank, period. I want to talk about somebody else. I want to talk about Joy Reid. This is single-handedly the most racist person on television, and she should be removed. This woman is a racist hate monger. Something is seriously wrong with this woman, and she should not be platformed on TV anywhere. You think Whoopi and The View are bad? No, this trick right here be tripping. Let me see if they got the audio. Listen to this. I want you to hear what she got to say. And before I even say it, before I even play it, here's what you got to understand. So the coalition that was supposed to get Kamala Harris in office was Latino men, Latino women, black men, black women, liberal white women, in whatever section of their husbands, that weren't mad at them because of their boyfriends, right? And so when she didn't get her way, this is what she had to say. When they didn't win, this is what she had to say to liberal white women. And I need you to understand this.
The white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory.
Remember back in the day they had their little pink hats? So listen to what she got to say to if you're a liberal white woman who watching this. And I kind of watch it, but I don't like it. I'm on the fence. This is what I want you to understand. This is what you were supporting. This is who your cheerleader was, getting you riled up against everybody.
Be putting back on the P-word hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming.
So she speaks for all black women.
I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, Prioritize Black Men, and Prioritize Black Communities, Black Businesses, and that.
Now, let me say this about this trick. If this heifer, if this dirty Sandy Beach gave a damn about anything about black people, she would have been supporting the party that encourages abortions. I said this the other day, 63.5 million abortions since Roe v. Wade was established. Over 25 million of those abortions have been black people, 40%. And at this point in time, those are old numbers, so it might be upwards of 50%. If she cared about black community at all, she wouldn't have been supporting that. So what she just showed you is that not only does she not care about nobody in no black community, she don't give a damn about nobody in your community. Only thing Joy Reid cares about is Joy Reid getting what she wants. Joy Reid wanted to see Donald Trump lose because she was emotionally invested in attacking Donald Trump. In fact, her entire career over the past, 8 to 10 years has been about attacking one man. So she didn't give a damn about you, liberal white woman. She damn sure didn't give a damn about no black men and black women. Only thing Joy Reid gave a damn about is Joy Reid. And Joy Reid now is coming to the realization that there's no mandate to talk negatively about Donald Trump anymore because he won the popular vote and he won the Electoral College. She doesn't really have a leg to stand on. And especially over the next, however many days until the transition is done, the inauguration, the hell is she going to say? The hell is she going to talk about? There's nothing for her to talk about. Can she talk about his appointees? Yeah, but What is there for her to rant and rave about? That's why the mainstream media is about to crash. In fact, they're talking about it all over the place, that the mainstream media ratings are dropping. And of course it's dropping. This is what happened. This is what I understand. It's like people don't remember. This is what happened the last time Trump won. The mainstream media ratings dropped. It's what happened when Joe Biden won. I mean, the ratings dropped because there wasn't nobody to talk about. Nobody wanted to talk about no damn Joe Biden. We, as the social media influencers on the right, started talking about Joe Biden. And so that's what kept the narrative going. Well, ain't nobody else was talking about no Joe Biden. They couldn't talk about Joe. They couldn't criticize Joe. So all they had was Donald Trump. And you notice they ratcheted it up. The closer we got to the election, the more they went at it, the more crazy they went, the more wild they went with it. But prior to that, they didn't have anything. So as of right now, they won't have anything. The mainstream media is dying. And that's the only conclusion you can come to. That's the only thing that's left to look at. Now, I do want to talk about this, and I want to warn you guys. They're talking about the mental health crisis. We've always had a mental health crisis. Because ever since the left has came out and started to, I could say, retrain or rewire the brains of these younger children in school via the leftism that is systemized and put into the classroom, they have made deranged people. And it's been obvious. I mean, it's clearly obvious. It was kind of like programming on your iPhone, on your Android, right? There was a program for the 1990s. Then there was an update in 2000, right? Then all of a sudden, normally the programs would update every 10 years. Then all of a sudden, we get to 2020, or we get to 2016, and they decide they're going to jam all these updates into the phones year in and year out. Normally it would take 10 years before they jammed another update. So no, what they did was they took generations of children, they kept on upgrading their software in their brain with wickedness. Oh, you can be if you're a boy, but you feel like you're a girl, you can be a girl. Upgrade. Then it was like, okay, well, if you're a boy and you feel like you're a girl, but you're really a boy, now you can change and be a girl. Upgrade. Then it was like, okay, if you're a boy and you feel like a girl, you can change to be a girl. Now you can believe you're a girl, and now you can compete with girls. Upgrade. All these different programming upgrades into the minds of young people at a very early age, while simultaneously leaving them inside of an echo chamber where they don't get any criticism and bullying anybody who says, hey, that's wrong, via social media, blocking them and doing all the rest of this stuff. We got to the point to where it's inevitable that when these generations of people run into a brick wall, which they've never run into, when they run into a dissenting opinion and someone who does not agree with them and will not budge based on their emotions, they can't use true violence against them because they are not violent. They're violent. They have violent rhetoric. They have violent emotions. But that generation has not been trained in violence in any way, shape, or form. The rituals of bullying were stopped. They didn't play outside. They didn't fall off a swing. They didn't climb a tree. So when the programming switches back to regular programming in front of their face, it's a whole new world to them. And they can't comprehend this world. When somebody like Homan stands up there and says, I don't give a shit if you get offended. Their whole life has been about not being offended and people protecting them from being offended. And then they crack and they crumble because they didn't get their way. And so, yes, there's a mental health crisis. Now, Patricia Heaton says that we need to pray for these traumatized women. I don't think we need to pray for them. I know you're going to say, damn, DW said you don't think we need to pray for them? No. I don't think we need to pray for them. I don't think so. I think what has to happen is they need to go through this ritual and learn and understand that your feelings don't dictate reality. Some of them gonna go crazy, end up in a crazy asylum. But they need to go through this to realize your feelings and your emotions don't dictate everybody else's reality. So no. I don't think you need to pray for them. I think you just need to let them go through this. We didn't do it to them in the first place. It was the Democratic Party that did it to them. But they have to go through this process of understanding that, hey, you decide you're going to cut off your hair? You're not hurting me. You hurting yourself. You don't believe that hurts yourself? Go ahead and do it. Do it. Let's see how it works out. Unfortunately, in society, we've gotten to a point to where when people start ranting and raving and being emotional, everybody responds to the emotion. Like, oh, he's emotional. He gonna do this, this, this. She gonna do this, this, this. Nah, let me see how crazy you really are. You crazy, right? You crazy? Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm gonna cut my hair. Okay, here's some clippers. Well, screw you, I'm gonna cut my hair off. Okay, now what you gonna do next to prove you're crazy? Now watch this. Wait till we get to the point to where they start cutting themselves. That's the first thing to shave your hair. When they start cutting themselves and bleeding themselves and bloodletting, you're going to look back on this moment and realize, man, DW said this was demonic in the first place. Remember, watch, they're going to start cutting themselves. They're going to start. Now, when they start doing that, they're about to hit rock bottom and kill themselves. But watch what happens. And everybody's like, oh, there's mental illness. Nah, they demon possessed. And that's all it boils down to. Because they've been raised in, they exist in an entire different civilization in the spirit realm than we do. The entirety of their makeup, how they were raised, what they believe is of a different civilization. All right, smoke break time. I need to handle some business. I'll be back.